Ladies and gentlemen.
Now, this is the second podcast this week, you guys, where people need to realize that they have privilege and they need to stop telling us that we need to be sorry for them. There were several little clips from her latest podcast where she's describing, again, she's already addressed this, but she keeps talking about how she didn't go to several events with Barack because it wasn't the right thing for her. And it's not the right thing for her, so she's not going to do it. And yes, it was hard because everyone's like breathing down her neck and stuff, but she told her people, don't even get me a dress because I'm not going to go. So if I don't have anything to wear, then I don't have to go. So that's how she got around that. She didn't have anything to wear. If it's the right thing for you and you know it, why do you keep talking about it? Like, it's just the right thing for you. You've already said it had nothing to do with your marriage. Why do you keep trying to tell us? She told us this on somebody else's podcast, and now she's telling it to us on her own podcast. And it's like the clip already went around. You've already told us that your marriage is not in jeopardy, but you just didn't want to go because it's time for you to think about you. In fact, it's so time for her to think about herself that she's been in therapy for quite a while now, trying to figure out what those 8 years in the White House did to her. You know, she hopes she helped the country. She hopes that, thank God her family is still intact, that her kids didn't fall into the depths of depression and just end it all. But what did those 8 years do to her?
So I'm at this stage in life where I have to define my life on my terms for the first time. So what are those terms? And going to therapy just to work all that out. Like, what happened that 8 years that we were in the White House? What did that do to me?
Yes.
Internally, my soul, we made it through. We got out alive. I hope we made the country proud. My girls, thank God, are whole. But what happened to me?
Do you know when she does one speech, it's almost $1 million to book that speech? Did you know that they, between the two of them, are billionaires at this point? Was it so hard for you when you were in the White House, living on the taxpayer's dollar and having everybody in the entire world praise you and proclaim your beauty? Was it hard for you when that was happening? I am confused as to what you think happened. Do you need therapy because it was so wonderful that you're wondering how to come off of cloud nine? I mean, like, what is the therapy for? She is super mad because everybody says that if you have an opinion as a black woman, you're just the stereotypical angry black woman. That stereotype has plagued her. That everyone says that she wants to speak about something with any passion. Everyone just says she's a bitter, angry black woman. And she's done with that stereotype.
Also, as Black women, we are so easily labeled as angry and bitter. And let me tell you some of the most hurtful stuff that I experienced, entering this life of public service at the heights that we entered into was during my husband's presidential campaign. And just me telling the truth of who we were, just humanizing him as a man, saying he's a great man, but he's not perfect. He's got his foibles and his flaws, trying to humanize him. The first thing that some female journalist said was that I was bitter. I was emasculating him, just by sort of trying to tell the truth about what life is, right? And then you get labeled as angry. Because you talk forcefully or passionately about something.
Okay. I don't like stereotypes either, but is it somebody putting you in a stereotypical light, or are you just really angry and bitter and literally everything you say so horribly negative that we can't get a breath? She sucks the life out of a room. She is the most joyless individual. I can't tell you one positive thing I've ever heard her say in a genuinely happy voice. Everything is super, super, super sour. And, she says that the problem is that she just doesn't do enough talking about her pain. Her pain is so real. And if anybody would just like to take a second to understand that pain, the pain of a black woman, it's just the problem is that black women they never talk about what's hard. So everyone thinks their life is easy. But if everyone could just listen to black women talk about their pain, maybe you guys would have an idea about how hard this thing really is. They're just so good at doing it perfectly and quietly. Nobody ever listens.
We grew up with women who weren't voicing the pain and the burden. They made it look easy. And when you make stuff look easy, people assume that you must like this.
Yeah.
It's okay with you, right?
Right.
You know, we don't articulate as Black women our pain because it's almost like nobody ever gave us permission to do that.
And does anyone care?
Yeah, there's
Will
that.
they?
You know, so maybe they just do need to get a little louder. I don't know if that's the answer. Like, maybe get a little bit, like, if you got a point to make the point. But I need to understand when you stopped talking about your pain. We'll tune in when you have something positive to say, because it'll be like, oh my gosh, Michelle Obama, you're happy today? Is that a genuine smile I see on your face? Are you actually bringing some light and joy instead of telling me, I am telling you this with happiness and joy? I feel joyful. And when I say something joyful, but I say it with force, people say that I'm angry. But actually, I'm very happy. We have a different definition.